Here's your Scooby snack.
Hey, Scoob, I got a ball you can chase. None of that makes any sense. But hey, they're all inebriated on this planet, Dana. They would be laughing their asses off at this.
You've just stepped into Damn It Jim, the podcast. And now, from the broadcast studios high atop Damn It Jim, the university, here are your hosts Dana Smith and Dan Kelzaretta.
Hey, thanks, Eddie. It's always great to be back at Damn It Jim Studios high atop Damn It Jim, the university. Here I am talking to my good friend, Dan Kelzaretta. How's it going, Dan?
Dana, something bad happened this week. It had nothing to do with squirrels. I got food poisoning a couple nights ago.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It had all the classic symptoms. And I was at a place that had a little catering thing. I was like, I don't know. They have what look like these very small mushrooms and some other kind of thing stuck on a skewer. They had some bok choy that I don't know. And then I ate it. And like 3-4 hours later, oh my God, it was Revenge of the Squirrels, I think. It was bad, Dana. It might have been squirrel meat. I don't really know. Could have been squirrel meat now you think about it.
I think the squirrels were following you and contaminating your food.
It was bad. Have you ever had food poisoning?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You say it like, yeah, every week. You get it all the time. Who does the cooking at your house, Dana?
No, I don't have it since Yvonne cooks. I've had it when I've cooked.
Oh God. Well, you know how bad it is. And it's just out of like both orify, and at the same time. It was not good, Dana.
When I lived in Chicago, I worked with this guy. He never cooked a meal at home.
All right.
And so I bet you once a month he'd get food poisoning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was terrible. He would miss a day at work. And you couldn't imagine this guy not being there.
Yeah.
He'd come in the next day, look gray and stuff and all beat up and be like, hey, what happened to you? He was just like, food poisoning. I ate at this place that I know I shouldn't eat at. He goes, but the food is so good. I'm like, no, it's not. But it's terrible. I'm glad you're doing better.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. So I woke up and my brain said to me, you are going to shit your pants, run to the bathroom. And I ran to the bathroom and all hell broke loose, Dana.
Lots of times it's both ends.
Yes, it was. That's what I'm saying. It was at almost the same time. It was gross. It was really, really gross. Yeah, I haven't thrown up in a long, long, long time. Everything's out and you just got the dry heaves, Oh my God. Just like all of our listeners are having right now. It could be the wet heaves though. Like what? Stop talking about food poisoning and puking. It's gross.
So I'm curious though, do you have any squirrels in your yard since the trap you set for the squirrel?
It was not a trap. It was not. Yeah, I see them all the time.
Yeah, I thought they might have like moved to a different yard and been like, that bastard's trying to get us killed.
No, I still see the squirrels. Like I said, we have little water dishes out for them, right in the middle of the yard where the hawks can see them. We got
you spray little bullseyes on the squirrel's back.
Yeah, it looks like a huge dartboard, And so the hawks are like, okay, if we get it right in the bullseye, we get extra points. Anyway, that's what's going on here. How about you, Dana? What's going
on? We had a squirrel arguing with a bird. They were out by the bird feeder, and the squirrel, I swear, put its front paws on its hips and stood up and chattered away at the bird. It was a magpie, and magpies are really loud, and so they just went back and forth for a few minutes, and then the magpie flew away, but it was still, yelling at the squirrel. But I think the squirrel took it as a victory.
Good. Well, you would hope so. Now, was the pole greased up? Could it get up the pole?
I don't think my wife has greased the pole.
I'm not going there, Dana.
Let's.
Hey, you got to get a video of that squirrel thing happening. I would love to see that.
I think I've got one. It's hilarious. Okay, Dan, let's move on to listener comments. Dan, why don't you go first this week?
All right, Dana, via YouTube, Annoying Critic said, when T'Pring started to cut Spock's ears, I thought, what a horrible episode. I mean, like I said last week, Dana, I like this episode. Our good friend Roxy Ray sent us a message. She said, y'all are just rambling men. This podcast is a huge accomplishment. It brings happiness to so many folks. Y'all should be proud of yourselves. The good kind of proud, not the bad kind.
Thanks, Roxy.
Yeah, thanks, Roxy. But let's see what people think after they hear about the whole, food poisoning thing. And then, Dana, we also heard from longtime listener Robert from Nevada. He said, okay, I liked the Griffin incident right up until I heard the baby scream. Then I knew it was going to be a horror episode. I suppose every series has to have at least one. I hate horror films as much as Dan hates lamb chop.
Wow, pretty strong.
He does say, but of course your review was top notch. You guys are the best.
Oh, thank you.
And then, Dana, we also received a call on the Damn It Jim hotline from Sean Patrick. He says he's been listening for a long time, but this is his first phone call. Here's what he has to say.
Just want to let you know I've loved your podcast since the beginning. The Griffin incident was outstanding, and I agree with most of your points. I have to say, you guys make every single episode hilarious. Keep up the good work. See ya.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sean. Appreciate you giving us a call.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Sean. That's all I have for this week, Dana.
Scott Sutherland said, okay, how about you guys do the next episode entirely in Scooby-Doo falsetto voice?
That's a good idea, Scoob.
It's all over, man. So I get this way, drive listeners away from the squirrel content. He says, but it's a larf, isn't it? So Joey Corson sent us a note before he listened to our podcast. Says, can't wait to get the take on this. He says, this was a great episode. They really tapped into the fears of the characters. Great creepy atmosphere with some gruesome visuals.
Some. Oh my God. They were a lot. They were great. I still think about the finger chopping and the look on his face. It was great.
I want to dive into something. There was a post in one of the Starfleet Academy Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And it was Renee Hughes. I've got nothing against Renee, and she handled this really well, I think. But she was calling basically for people to sign a petition to keep Starfleet Academy alive.
Renee, stop it.
Well, there were numerous people who had responses like Bradley Herrick replied, "Puke bag day." Jeff Thompson said, I wasted 1 hour of my life watching the first episode. That's 1 hour of my life I really want back. Marcus Cochran said, I couldn't even finish the trailer. I knew it was more post-2005 non-conical garbage.
Wow. That's some harsh language there.
Christian Mills said, watch SFA or have my next colonoscopy televised. I choose the latter because I would be helping to stigmatize an important medical procedure and would be less uncomfortable.
Even without the anesthesia, probably.
And then Keith Toll responded, favorite episode? That's like having a favorite form of brain cancer.
Oh my God.
Stephen Craig said, I'd rather take a hammer to my thumb, but enjoy. And finally, Robert Hartman said, are we celebrating the cancellation? I can get behind that. And again, Renee handled this all very diplomatically. She said, that's one take on it.
It's a lot of takes as far as I can tell. Just one.
But she responded to each one individually.
Oh, she did. Okay.
So, Dan, let's move on. Season 4, episode 3, Human Best Friend.
Okay. If we have to, let's do it.
So basically it starts off with, like what's happened before and that they're all really tired and basically the crew needs shore leave. So we get Ortegas' personal log followed by Scotty's personal log. And Ortegas talks about Scotty's warning light on her dashboards, trying to tell her how to fly. And Scotty is saying he's frustrated with Ortegas because she's constantly pushing what the ship can do. So they're on their way to a planet in the midst of a civil war where Pike will help negotiate.
Negotiate what?
Peace, hopefully. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the thing is, though, she is really pissed about all these warning lights, and she just puts a piece of black tape over the warning light. Do you remember? I mean, I remember doing this when I was younger and had pieces of shit cars. The warning light was always going off, and I had money to fix it, So you just take a piece of black tape, and I remember people would call it the PBT method, the piece of black tape. And that's just how you fixed it. Easy, simple, take care of the problem.
Yeah. So later, Una's is talking to Pike, and she says that the crew needs shore leave. Basically, the Alpha crew, which is, the people we see on the bridge all the time.
And we've talked about this in the past, and it bugs me. Why don't we see the other crew that's got to be there, when nothing is happening, apparently? They don't get any fun,
Pike says, do you have any suggestions? They see an advertisement for this pleasure planet.
Oh, God. Uh-oh.
And everyone will have a different experience as the planet has an intoxicating atmosphere. So the Alpha crew goes down in a shuttle, and as soon as they land, Chapel says, once the doors open, we'll start feeling the effects. So the doors open, and then everything gets like a 1960s drug movie.
They talk about the naturally inebriating gases, right?
Yeah.
I've had some of those gases just a couple days ago. Yeah, they were anti-inebriating, Dana. But let's think about this, Dana. Okay, pleasure planets. It never goes well.
I'd still take a chance. I mean, the pleasure planet, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
what could be better?
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at this. Okay, these are the ones I can kind of remember. In the original series, we had the episode Shore Leave,
Yeah.
right? A psychotic Alice in Wonderland meets Westworld, along with another crazed Irishman who torments Kirk. Remember that? What was his
Yeah.
name? Was it O'Reilly or no? It wasn't O'Reilly. Whatever that guy's name was. And then you get the Japanese Zero aircraft, and you get
Samurai soldier,
the samurai, and Sulu finds a gun and just starts shooting it. You know,
Bengal
right?
tiger.
The Bengal tiger. And then you get the episode Wolf in the Fold, where Scotty goes nuts and starts stabbing women, but it actually turns out it's Jack the freaking Ripper. What?
Yeah.
Not good. In the Man Trap, they don't go to a pleasure planet, but they mention Wrigley's Pleasure Planet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just the original series. We're not even talking Next Generation or DS9 or Enterprise or whatever other ones where they've gone. Nothing ever goes well.
In Next Generation, I remember a couple episodes distinctly where Riker is coming back aboard the ship and they say he's been to Wrigley's Pleasure Planet and he is all smiles and happy and looks a little worn out, actually.
And goes directly to the doctor and says, give me that shot.
So the next thing we see on the planet, we see a Tribble, and then Ortegas wakes up from what looks like a pretty wild party. The room is trashed.
And it looks like there were kegs too, didn't it? Like beer kegs.
Yeah.
It looked kind of like a dorm room, after a few parties.
Yeah, it looked like my dorm room all the time. She wakes up, she's got a cast on her left arm.
Yeah.
And in the background, we see a stuffed animal, which is the dog with the horn on its head. And you mentioned that last week and said, you hope we see one.
And there it was.
They are listening to the show, Dan.
They are. Now, we know the show was produced sometime last year, but they went in and edited that thing in. They had to.
CGI, Dan. They can do anything with that.
Right. And then our favorite character shows up, the Mugatu.
So yeah, the Mugatu stands up next to Ortegas and she beats the crap out of it. And Mugatu's trying to say something, finally takes its head off, and we see it's Scotty in a Mugatu costume.
Right.
So the host, D'Andrew, brings a message for Pike. It's on paper because this is a no-tech zone.
Right.
And so Ortegas and Scotty go looking for Pike, and it's kind of a seek and find thing. So they go see Spock because he's the logical one to see.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he has manifested Jim Kirk to better understand their relationship. Thought that was a weird thing.
I mean, the one thing about that scene that I thought was funny, I think Ethan Peck is pretty funny, but the way he says, you'll have to excuse my room, it's such a mess, and it's immaculate except for one of the little chess pieces is maybe a centimeter out of place, and he just straightens it up. I mean, I thought he played that really well.
Yeah, and after they leave, he's like straightening or patting the cushions a little bit. That looked
Right.
fine to begin with. Yeah, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Spock isn't able to help them. They go to Uhura's room because Spock said something about there was a party in Uhura's room. Oh my God, Dan.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uhura leans out the door. I about lost it. So she is in this tight-fitting kind of wild party dress. And so smoke is pouring out of Uhura's room. So, and you hear people in the background and music playing.
Yeah.
And she's kind of not letting them in. She's like keeping the door partly closed. So
Yeah, she tells them you have to find your own journey. Your journey's not in here or something. I don't know.
I had a journey. So So then Scotty walks away. He goes to a bar and Ortegas follows. Then they see Una is singing karaoke in the bar.
In Klingon.
And Mabenga is the bartender.
Right.
And he's like throwing bottles up in the air like, it's the movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise. And but the bottles are like breaking on the floor and stuff.
Right, because he can't really catch them, and Yeah, he's trying his best, Dana.
Mabinga says, if you got a message for Pike, last time I saw him, he was over here. So they go to find Pike.
Sorry, before we get there. So Una is singing, right? And they talk about how she's singing these Klingon power ballads.
Yeah.
But she's singing Total Eclipse of the Heart in Klingon.
Yeah. And I think that was Rebecca Ramon singing.
Who's Rebecca Ramon?
Una.
Oh, I have no idea. Is that who that is? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I should know who the real people are. You mean her name's really not Una Chin Riley? What? This isn't a documentary?
Yeah.
So that was really her singing.
I believe so.
Well, she's got a good voice.
Yeah.
She's got some nice pair of lungs there, Dana.
She's a healthy woman. They go find Pike, and he's getting a tattoo on his arm of a horse.
And he's totally trashed.
He's like stoned.
Stoned, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that whole like, hey, dude,
Yeah, yeah, a little.
Hey,
yeah,
Scooby.
I got better hair than you do. Huh? I got a bone for you.
Here's your Scooby snack.
Hey, Scoob, I got a ball you can chase. None of that makes any sense. But hey, they're all inebriated on this planet, Dana. They would be laughing their asses off at this.
Yeah, we would be one of the more popular podcasts on that planet, I think.
And then they'd get back and they'd be like, what did we listen to? I cannot believe we spent our time with that.
Pike opens the letter and it says the ambassadors are coming to the Enterprise and they will be there in 2 hours.
Oh, that's not good, Dana, because these people are trashed.
Yeah. So Pike tells them to get the shuttle and then they can round everybody up. Then Ortegas and Scotty go to find the shuttle. The only problem is they can't find it. It's not where they left it. So they go back to Uhura, get her tricorder.
Because she snuck it on the planet. You're not supposed to bring any technology.
And Scotty's like, I found the shuttle. And then he says, he goes to show Ortegas and he throws it to her. And they're standing on a balcony and goes flying over the balcony and crashes on the floor into a bazillion pieces.
And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, come on, that's ridiculous. And then I remember, well, there have been times when maybe I have been a little inebriated where, you don't make the best decisions, Dana.
So they go get Spock, who says he is not sure how helpful he can be in his inebriated state. But as they're walking along, he seems perfectly fine.
Right.
Then they get to this room and there's a plant there. And Spock says he thinks he can mind meld with the plant because it's some photosynthesis technology. Through that, he can find where the shuttle is.
Scotty and Ortegas are just like, okay, now he must really be messed up because how are you going to mind meld with a plant,
Yeah, and so he touches the leaves and says, my mind to your leaves. Spock says the shuttle is in the hands of some criminals. And then he looks at Ortegas and Scotty and he sees them as plants. So,
like one was a cactus, I think, right?
Yeah. And the other one was like a ficus. After that, Spock sees Kirk again and confesses he has never had a human best friend.
And Kirk is this illusion to Spock.
And he says, I've never had a human best friend that he can share things with. And he says, I want to share some stories with you.
And then he unzipped his pants. But that was just implied, the unzipping. Kirk says, I see a plant in your pants.
Yeah. Just tell me it's not a cactus. Yeah. So then Ortegas and Scotty go find La'an, who's teaching a self-defense class, and she seems very, very aggressive with it. So she threatens them, and then they finally talk her into coming with them, and they find the thieves, and La'an says she will go negotiate with them, and she basically goes and beats the shit out of the criminals. And she comes back and says, they'll tell me where it is, but we have to give them a gift. So she makes Scotty give his Hawaiian shirt that he's got.
That he loves. He does not want to. It's his favorite shirt, he says. Doesn't want to part with it.
Next thing we see is they're inside the shuttle and they need the electronic processor chip. And they realize that the processor chip is in the cast on Erica's arm.
From the very beginning, even though I know they explain there's no technology, I knew there was something wrong with that cast, Dana. It just didn't sit right with me.
So they just get the processor chip out. All of a sudden, 2 men throw black bags over their heads and kidnap Ortegas and Scotty.
Dana, this is a pleasure planet. Where are all these like criminals showing up from? You know what I mean?
Hey, for some people, having a bag thrown over their head and kidnapped is pleasure. I don't know. Listen, it wouldn't work for me, but some people.
They got a dog collar on and like a ball in their mouth. Or what was that from? What movie was that? Pulp Fiction, isn't there? Oh my God, what a crazy movie!
Next thing we see, they're tied to chairs like in a warehouse. They tumble around, they get the bags off their head. It's kind of funny because Scotty says something like, "They've taken my eyes." He goes, I've lost my eyes.
But you gotta say it in the accent, Dana. Come on.
They're taking my eyes. I cannot see.
That was pretty funny, I thought.
Yeah. And then they start talking about like their childhood and stuff. And
The bonding moment, Dana.
so Scotty gets them untied, and then DeAndrew shows up.
He runs the place. Okay.
And he explains he knows what it is like to always be looking for something to be angry about. So a little philosophical, psychological thing there to help Ortegas and Scotty.
It didn't help me, Dana. I was still a little angry with that guy. Still a little bit angry.
So then he tells them to stop by room C as one of their crewmates is causing problems. And we see Chapel is playing bingo with a bunch of old aliens. She gets bingo and calls it out like, yeah, in your face and stuff.
Right.
And she's like screaming and all the old aliens are like, okay, this is done. We're going to throw down here. Yeah. Like 120-year-old aliens,
I bet if you were to go into like one of these assisted living centers or, old folks homes, if you want to call it that, or even a senior center, and they're playing bingo, my guess is you don't mess with a fucking bingo. You do not mess with it. They'll shank you. I think they will shank you.
I mean, just go to a bingo like an American Legion Hall or something, you're one letter away from having bingo, and then somebody else calls out bingo. You're lucky you walk out of there alive.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Especially if you're kind of, whooping it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't make it to your, with your walker out to your car in the parking lot without getting a rusty fork stuck in your ass or something.
So they get to the shuttle. Pike has tattoos, not only on his arm, but on the side of his face.
Right.
And Pike says they need to be on their game for the negotiations. So next we see Pike and Una as they welcome the Rhodaxians.
Was that what they were?
Pike and Una seem completely hungover.
Like Una looks really bad. Whatever they did for her makeup, I was feeling hungover just looking at her.
The Rhodaxians say like, we are so honored. And Pike says, welcome. I am the USS Christopher Pike. In the shuttle bay, Scotty finds Ortegas working on the shuttle, and she confesses she's been so angry at Scotty, but realizes she's really not mad at him.
I think she's probably still mad at him.
Yeah, there's got to be something there. Then they confess like, what they're good at and what they're not.
And she wanted to be an engineer, not a pilot.
And then Scotty says he avoided the helm as he's not that great of a pilot, and says something about he crashed like 12 shuttlecrafts or something like that.
Yeah, 7, I think he said, but who's counting, really? Well, he said he always wanted to be a chef, I think is what he said originally. I wanted to be a chef, but I got, I gave everyone food poisoning with my horrible haggis. And then I wanted to be a pilot, and I crashed 7 shuttle because the sheep and I were, there was that going on. And then they stuck me in engineering,
which he excelled at.
Yeah, no, as long as there are no sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there weren't any sheep on this pleasure planet.
There probably were. We just didn't see them. That little dog with the horn on its head looked like it had been used as a sheep. So
just imagine the Mugatu, but he doesn't have any pants on. It's just the top part of the Mugatu costume.
While they're working together, Scotty finds something in the dash, and it looks like a bomb, Dan.
Well, this is just kind of so out of left field to me,
So then Ortegas goes to get help.
And he can't drop the bomb. He can't put it down or anything, because if he does, it's going to blow up.
So Pike is talking to the Rhodaxians.
Reading a speech that is just horrible. Like, he can't even get through it.
But he's reading it off his fingers that are tattooed with the speech.
That was kind of funny. Yeah.
I thought that was great. Yeah. So then Ortegas is behind the Rhodaxians. She's like waving, trying to get Pike's attention, but she can't. So she whispers to Uhura, and then she leaves and runs into Spock, who says he can help them, but he still sees her as a plant, and he looks at her and sees that she's a cactus. So that was kind of funny. So then they go back to the shuttle and they find a little memory disk. There's a recording of Ortegas and Scotty leaving a message that someone basically messed with the shuttle. And it's a drunk recording. They're obviously having fun. In the message, Scotty says, "Don't bring the shuttle back to the Enterprise." Spock determines the bomb explosion would be catastrophic to the ship.
Really? Huh. That's so unusual that would happen.
Yeah.
It's a bomb, The whole drunk recording thing, was kind of funny. Here's what we should encourage our listeners to do. You probably should start listening to our show drunk already, and maybe you already are. Call drunk and leave us a drunk message. It might be funny,
Yeah, if you don't want us to say your name, we won't say your name because you probably won't be able to say your name. And,
Or just make up a name. How the hell are we going to know? You could even use an accent, right?
Yeah. As we mentioned before, Scotty can't let go of the bomb, so he volunteers to take the shuttle out and detonate the bomb away from the ship. And Ortega says he can't fly.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Use your feet to fly? I mean, how's that going to happen?
Yeah, and he's a crappy pilot anyway. She says she'll fly it, and Spock says he will transport them out a zeptosecond once the explosion starts.
I think it was Zeppo. He's one of the Marx brothers, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there was Gummo.
Gummo? Wait.
Yeah, Gummo never made a movie with the Marx Brothers. He was part of the vaudeville act.
Wait, wasn't Gummo the green looking guy that rode Pokey the horse?
Gumby. Yeah, he rode Pokey the horse. I thought that was aptly named.
Remember those toys though? And after you bent them a few times, like they would crack in the wire on the inside.
Then the wires would stick through and poke you and stuff.
Give you tetanus.
Yeah, you get an infection. They'd have to cut your hand off because you're playing with Pokey and Gumby. So in the transporter room, Spock says, he says, I really need a second set of hands. And then Kirk shows up.
And we're not sure, is this an illusion or right?
Yeah, and Spock says he's still hallucinating. So Kirk slaps him and says, you felt that pain. And he goes, that was real, wasn't it? And Spock just like staring at him like, look, I'm going to fucking slap you.
So do you think Kirk taught Mabinga the Mabinga, or did Kirk learn the Mabinga from Mabinga?
I think Mabinga taught Kirk the Mabinga.
Yeah, and said, look, if you ever need to get a Vulcan's attention, this is what you do.
Yeah. On the shuttlecraft, Scotty says, the bomb is getting hot. And
that's what I was saying when I had, food poisoning, except it was the bum is getting hot. The toilet humor, Dana. It's always funny. It's always funny.
At least to you, yes. And so then we go back to the negotiations. The Redoxians call out Spike for his poor negotiating skills. And
Spike? It sounded like you said Spike.
I probably did.
Well, he's going by Spike now because of all the tattoos, My name is Spike.
He's wearing a dog collar with spikes on it, yeah. In the negotiations, the Redoxians call out Pike for his poor negotiating skills.
Well, they're pissed. They're like offended by him for some reason.
And they're yelling at him, say this is the worst negotiations we've ever been to. And then Pike sees the shuttle outside the windows of the conference room and walks closer. And then the shuttlecraft blows up and it looks like fireworks in the sky.
Right, yeah.
And so next we see Scotty and Ortegas on the transporter pads alive.
Well, doesn't Scotty say something like, is this the afterlife? It looks just like the Enterprise. It was funny. It was pretty funny.
So meanwhile, the Redoxians are impressed by the explosion and say this was an ancient formal rite of peace, and they were so impressed that they did this.
Come on. Somebody
says something like, this must have been very costly to you, and this gives them hope that the peace talks will be fruitful.
No.
So on the transporter, we see Scotty and Ortegas, they're sitting up, and they're like, oh, we're still intact. And then Scotty holds up his right hand, and his thumb is hanging by a thread.
They must have had some extra special effects bloody dollars left over, from last week's episode, because it was great. I loved it, but it was kind of gross.
Yeah, thought they did a good job with it. Then we go to see Spock, turns to Kirk and thanks him. Kirk says he was on vacation on Cessnar and he was glad he ran into Spock.
Oh, come on. That's a little,
And Spock is like, I told you secrets and, confess things to you. And Kirk says, and they are safe with me.
Why wasn't he getting nuts on Cessna or whatever the hell the planet was,
So later on the bridge, Ortega sees a warning light come up on her console. So she goes to see Scotty. And Scotty says, I wasn't exaggerating about the issues the ship has been experiencing when you push the engine so hard. She says that she won't push so hard. And Scotty says,
No, you can still push hard. It's okay. The sheep do it all the time.
when they push back against me.
See, you do a great Scottish accent. I can't do it for shit, Dana. I could do a sheep accent.
So Scotty says, I've given you the ability for a wee bit more push. And she says, good. I like a wee bit more push. And she says, I won't let you down. And then he replies, I know you won't. Dan, we get, they go to the credits and we get outtakes from the episode where the crew is laughing and Una singing and, just a bunch of like silly stuff. And Ortegas and Scotty like laughing really hard while they're doing the recording of at the console and stuff. But Dan, that's how this episode ends.
So Dana, you have something interesting to share about this episode.
Yeah, Dan, the guy that played D'Andrew, whatever his name was, that was Dave Foley. And he's actually one of my favorite actors / comedians. Shows up in a lot of different things. He was one of the Kids in the Hall, which was a great comedy show back in the day. He was also the star of News Radio, which ran for several seasons and had Phil Hartman in it. And he's appeared in numerous TV shows and movies, including this TV show Justified, Veep, The Morning Show, and he did voice work for the Star Trek Lower Decks.
He looked familiar to me.
So Dan, Una is singing a version of Total Eclipse of the Heart in Klingon. And I mentioned that I wanted to stop and look at the other power ballads in the queue. The songs were Yellow Battle Cruiser, Romulan Rhapsody, Let It Go, Honor or Cowardice, Smells Like Blood Wine, and Aim for the Second Heart. Do you got anything, special notes you want to mention, Dan?
Yeah, Dana, Mbenga's line about the drink he pours, he says, it's green. When someone says, what is that? And he says, it's green. That's actually the second reference to the original series By Any Other Name, in which Scott used the phrase to describe an alcoholic beverage while getting the Kelvin Tomar drunk. Remember that? The Tomar was kind of that big tall guy.
Oh,
and then in the Next Generation episode Relics, Data also describes the Aldebaran whiskey he pours for Scott, albeit without saying it's green. It's fascinating, huh? That was a fascinating tidbit of information. And then, Dana, finally, I had seen this interview with some of the members of the cast of Strange New Worlds, and they said that this episode was one of the favorite episodes they did all season.
I think they had a lot of fun with it.
They probably did. I just hope it's not the best episode they think they did all season.
Okay, Dan, do you want to hit what would Kirk do?
Yeah, I think Kirk would have fought off the effect of the gases, rounded up his entire crew with the help of Spock. There would have been some hilarity and hijinks, kind of like Trouble with Tribbles, and it might possibly have been an original series classic had they done it this way. This episode, not so much. How about you?
Well, I think Kirk would have impregnated several women on the planet before he gathered the crew back together to get them ready for meeting the Rodaxians. Okay, Dan, let's move on to best. What do you got for the best parts of this episode?
Dana, Spock while being inebriated and seeing Ortegas and Scotty as plants, I thought that was pretty funny. How about a best part for you?
The outtakes. I like when they do that. It shows how much fun everyone had in this show. Got another best part, Dan?
Yeah, we get a little backstory about Scotty and Ortegas and how they have to work through their differences. How about another best part for you?
Scotty is the Magatu. When I saw the Magatu, I was so excited. I thought that was great. Not as quite as excited as when I saw Uhura, but and then Ortegas beats the hell out of him. So,
yeah, that's funny.
How about worst parts, Dan?
The explosion being some kind of ancient ritual that convinces the aliens that they want to be friends with the Federation. I don't buy it, Dana. It was just stupid. How about a worst part for you?
I had the same thing, Dan. I thought that, that this was a sign of galactic peace for them and that they would gladly go to the table to negotiate. I thought that was pretty silly, far-reaching. Do you have another worst part, Dan?
Yeah. Why was Sam Kirk left out of all the fun? I think he and his mustache would have had a great time and would have been a great addition to this episode, Dana. Well, Dana, how about if you share a dilemma with us? I mean, not a personal dilemma, but a dilemma that the show brings up.
Dan, it was the personal issues that like Spock not having anybody to confide in, Ortegas and Scotty having their little riff. That's what I thought it was about. It was personal, not demons so much as just little things they needed to fix and understand. How about you? What do you have for a dilemma?
It's kind of more of a question. Do we hide our real selves? And does that side only come out under the influence of some kind of inebriant? And do we need alcohol or drugs in order to become who we truly are?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, no.
Dana, why don't we move on to the counts? How about talking too much?
Yeah, I've got 0, Dan.
I do as well, so that leaves us with 26. Dana, this one is really, really freaking disappointing to me. The dead crewman count.
I knew from the get-go we weren't going to have any, so I showed that 0 for this week.
Right, leaves us with 20. Shedding tears.
I didn't see any this week either.
37. Ripped shirts, no shirts, who's showing skin?
Oh, man, do we count Uhura?
Well, I mean, that shirt was pretty revealing. I think we should. So that gives us 1 for a total of 23. How about the Supreme Being count?
Not in this episode, Dan.
Nope. Leaves us with 6. Taking over the Enterprise.
Nope.
Leaving us with 6 also. Fights.
I've got 2. Ortegas beating up the Magatu, which was Scotty, and La'an beating up the thieves trying to get the shuttle back.
All right, I have that as well. So that leaves us with 39. Dana, log drops.
I think there was 3.
Yeah, I also have 3. Ortegas' personal log at the beginning, Scotty's personal log at the beginning, and then Ortegas dropping another steamy log at the end. So that leaves us, I think, with 39. And then Pike cooking.
Didn't see anything this week, Dan.
No, so leaves us with 21. Dana, what are your final thoughts on this episode?
Dan, I thought this was a fun show. It moved quickly. It was interesting. I was never bored. I was confused several times. I like how they resolved the Ortega-Scotty anger rift that they had. Pike's tattoos were fun when he was reading it off his fingers in negotiations. And I don't know if you know this, but in real life, his whole left arm is a sleeve of tattoos.
Wow.
There's a lot here to absorb. I didn't have a problem with any of it. It was kind of fun. Maybe it's the mood I'm in today, but I thought they did it well. It was as fun as intended without being completely silly and over the top. I can see why the cast enjoyed this episode. How about you, Dan? What are your final thoughts?
Well, after intense episodes in the last 2 weeks, this one is kind of like cotton candy. It's not bad while you're eating it, although deep down you know it's not good for you, but it fades away quickly once it's gone. I enjoyed learning some of the backstory about Ortegas and Scotty, including that he does not like to be called Monty. There's some good comedy in this episode. I actually like how funny Ethan Peck is as Spock. He doesn't overplay it, and while it's humorous, just like you said, it's not like over-the-top silly. And I have the feeling that Spock purists are going to hate this episode. I thought he did a good job. The backstory with the peace talks and the bomb were kind of unnecessary, except maybe to play out the bond building between Scotty and Ortegas. And then the explosion as some kind of ancient ritual, beyond unbelievable, just stupid. To me, it was kind of a mashup of the movies Dude, Where's My Shuttlecraft? I mean, Where's My Car? And The Hangover. Not a horrible episode, but definitely not one I will really remember at the end of the season. It's kind of like being inebriated. Seems funnier when it's happening than when you look back on it. Well, Dana, what do we have for next week?
Oh, you're going to make me try to pronounce this. Dan, next week is a case of the and I look forward to working with you again.
Just pronounce it like with an Italian accent. I don't know if it's an Italian word or not.
Dan, next week is a case of churrasco.
Churrasco.
There you go. Why didn't you say it?
Because I wanted to hear you say it. All right, Dana, once again, had a great time with this episode.
Dan, it's always fun to get together with you and talk about Star Trek. We always seem to find something to laugh about. Until we meet again, live long and prosper.
Thanks once again for listening to Damn It Jim, the podcast. This podcast was written and produced by Dana Smith and Dan Kelzaretta for Ramble Jar Productions. We'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call on the Damn It Jim hotline at 509-676-6298. From Dana, Dan, and the entire staff at Damn It Jim, have a great rest of your week. And, as always, remember to live long and prosper.